Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today I've brought you the book Earthquake by Ruskin but part 5. In the last video, we told you that the second and the real earthquake tremor was uh, happened in the city. Most of you might have thought that the story ended there, but no, there is a lot more to listen. This part of the story is about the people who were very lucky during the earthquake. The lucky ones. Mumtaz's hut was one of the few homes left standing. Light and flimsy, made of wooden planks and a thatched roof, it could have been blown away by a strong wind, but it withstood the earthquake. Whereas bricks and plaster had came crashing down, the light wooden structure had shaken and shivered and swayed with the movements of the earth, but it had remained upright. Dolly was soon at home in the hut, playing on the smooth earthen floor with the cook's children. Mukesh still hung on to grandfather, while grandmother, hands on hips, surveyed the wreckage of the house. I hope Rakesh is all right, said grandfather. If you can keep an eye on Mukesh, I'll go and look for him. Yes, do. I'm worried about him, said grandmother, and may get another earthquake. Will you be all right here? Well, there is nothing left to fall down. Mumtaz says that we must sleep in his house tonight. It seems to be the safest place. You and the children can sleep there. I'll sleep out in the open. It's warm enough and I don't think it's going to rain. While grandfather was gone looking for Rakesh, grandmother and Mumtaz searched the ruins of the house looking for things that could still be used. Unfortunately, most of their belongings were buried deep beneath the rubble, and there was hardly anything worth retrieving. Just a battered pram, a box full of clothes, several tins of sardines, some cans of fruit juice that had rolled across the grass, and grandfather's typewriter, which hadn't been working anyway. They had no idea that Pickle was in the ruined building, buried at the bottom of everything. They thought he was somewhere in the neighborhood, dashing about as usual, looking for the cause of all the trouble. Find my dolls, demanded Dolly, and the doll's house. But the doll's house no longer existed. No more toys, said Rakesh with satisfaction, feeling very grown up about everything. We are poor now. Has the bank fallen down too? Asked Dolly. Must have, said Mukesh sagely. In spite of grandfather's prediction of clear weather, it began to rain as they had to take shelter in Mumtaz's little hut. It was very crowded in the small room, but Mumtaz, for one, did not notice. He had a big heart. Waters of the upturned lake drained away almost as rapidly as they had flooded the surrounding area. Rakesh peered down the branches of the tree in the general direction of his school. He wanted to know the time. Usually, the clock tower above the school building was visible for miles around, but now there was no sign of it. In fact, it had disappeared when the rest of the building collapsed. Even now, frantic efforts were made to extricate the headmaster from the rubble around his desk, where he had trapped by a falling beam. The classroom, where shambles and a fire had broken out of the kitchen and was spreading to other parts of the building. It would be many months before the school would start functioning again. Many would never return to it. After some time, Rakesh climbed down from the tree. He looked around for his bicycle, but he couldn't see it anywhere. A lot of other things had been washed up at the base of the tree, including a dead cat, several drowned chickens, a fish that had been left flopping around when the water receded, and a cinema hoarding. The face of a famous Bombay film star stared up from the mud. In the distance, he saw a great cloud of dust. He did not know it then, but the dust came from hundreds of fallen or damaged buildings. Rakesh knew, of course, that there had been an earthquake, a tremendous one, and that it must have been felt over a large area. What could have happened to his grandparents and his brothers and sisters? He began running for home, taking the road through the town. He wasn't sure that it was the same town he was running through because many of his familiar landmarks had gone. The town's biggest and the most expensive hotel, Grand Eastern, had tumbled down. Many of its guests have been killed. An ambulance stood in the grounds, and across the road, a fire engine was trying to put out several fires which had broken out. Almost automatically, Rakesh began to help the rescue workers who were clearing the rubble. There wasn't much he could do apart from shifting the bricks and broken furnitures. Then he realized that his own home might be in a similar condition, and he paused, staring horrified at the wreckage of the one post hotel. He felt a touch on his shoulder. Grandfather was standing beside him. Are you all right, my boy? Rakesh nodded, although he looked rather bewildered. And everyone at home? He asked. They're all right, said grandfather. Did not mention the house. Come along. There is nothing you can do here. What happened to your cycle? It swept away. All the water came out of the lake. I had to climb a tree. They walked home in silence, but all around them was noise and confusion. Rakesh hadn't expected to find their house in total ruin. He looked around in shock and dismay. Everything is gone, he said at last. What a luck! What terrible luck! No, said grandfather. We are lucky ones. We are alive, aren't we? Do you want to know what happened after that? Well, it's in the next part of the story in the next video. If you like this part of the story, then please like, share, and comment below. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to get more awesome, lovely, and interesting stories. Thank you.